How's everybody doing? This is Clifton Bradley coming from out of Chicago. And you're looking at me on social media. I am in the United States of America. I'm in Chicago right now, in my little laboratory, creating something. And what this subject matter is about, I've been overwhelmed with people asking me. They're asking me to do something on domestic wiretapping. Okay. And domestic wiretapping is the government having the ability to listen in on your phones. They have the ability to listen in on your phones. The NSA. And you know what? Some say, there's a segment of the population that says that that they're doing it for the protection of the United States of America against domestic internal and external enemies that will wish to harm the United States of America. But there's a group of people that says that it is wrong for the NSA, CIA, I'm not going to say CIA, the NSA, to be able to listen to your phone conversations, okay, to tap in whenever they want to, and to monitor. It's like your Roku television. You have a Roku television. You have a smart television. You know what? Some believe that that there's a camera in the back of the in the device that can transmit information back to a undisclosed location to gather information about individuals and your telephones. And Eric, Eric Snowden, which some say he's a hero. Some say that he's a villain, and what he did is his company was contracted to do something for the NSA. Okay. But what happened is, I guess before he was contracted, he had no knowledge whatsoever that they were listening to our telephones. You know how you pick up your telephone sometimes, and you hear static in the background, or you might hear echo or something like that, and you say, "Man, they must be listening in." I had a friend named Brother Boise Edwards in Chicago at Can Television. He used to always say, "They've been listening to me for years," and he said he would always say, "Damn it, if." He would always say, "Damn it," in the phone. He said, if they're going to listen in, the most they could do is pay the telephone bill. And then I would just I would just laugh about it. But I always suspected that our conversations were being monitored. But this is a society where basically almost everything is being monitored that has something to do with a computer system or a computer chip. A long time ago, we used to worry about big armies, and foreigners, like China and Russia, we used to worry about armies. But the thing is, what the new soldier is? The new soldier is the computer chip. Because if you can learn how to control this utilize this technology, you can do something that is good, or you can do something that is evil. That you can do. Because what they're doing is they're gathering information. And Eric Snowden, he brought that to people's attention, that the NSA in the United States of America, that they have been monitoring your telephone calls. And you know, it's like when you say certain keywords, I'm not even gonna say the words, like bomb, blow up, or something like that, that it will zero in. It's your indication on this system that you are talking about things like that. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Because you know what? That could be saving this country from another 9/11 that happened in New York, where that building was brought down. It could be saving this country. But do you think that it's intrusionary to listen in on somebody's conversation? Do you think this? Do you also think that it is intrusionary to be able to have they know you would have a smart television and they would have the ability to look into your home if they really, really wanted to? You know, is that intrusionary? You know, you please leave a chat, you know what, just type something in the chat room and let me know if you think that is intrusionary. I mean, the with the computerized system, actually the country that develops their technology better, I believe that will give them more control. Actually, that's what President Biden and Vladimir Putin is talking about, and I'm sure they're working on cutting edge things to make their technology superior. But I don't happen to think that it's for the betterment of society. I think it's the detriment of society. I think that it is wrong to be able to go in and check a book out the library and they know exactly what book you checked out, you know what, because you get some information. It is wrong to be able for somebody just to listen in on your telephone. Okay, it is wrong, in my opinion. It is wrong to do this, you know. And what this 5G technology that is, you know, that they're working on perfecting, and there's so many 5G towers that will be up in our lifetime, the way it brings all of these systems together so they can gather more information. And I think it could be intrusion. You know what? It can be an intrusion on your life. You know, but Eric Snowden, it was, you know what? I think they're WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks is a website where they get information, and I think they get unclassified information, and they leak this to the American people that the NSA and other organizations have been listening in on our telephone calls for years. For years, we used to joke about it. We used to joke about it, man. I think somebody is listening in on me and all that. And how far does it go? I mean, you look at what's going on in China right now. Okay. As soon as you walk outside of your house and you walk like on a main street, which, you know, China is a communistic state. You know what? There more cameras that are looking at you, and it's facial recognition. So you know what? It's at the point in China where if you go outside and you crossing the street and you jaywalk. Jaywalk means crossing the streets and the traffic light is red. If you jaywalk because of facial recognition, there will be a blemish on your credit history, and it will penalize you. Okay, and it's somewhere in China where if you pile up all these negative things against you by doing things, little things, you like that it might impact you getting a job. I think it will impact you getting a job, from what I understand. So, is it wrong for the government to listen in on our telephone calls? Is it wrong for them to know what websites we visit? Man, I visit websites only one time, and I've gotten back like about 10 or 20 messages from that particular website, because we are being monitored. This broadcast is being monitored. Although I'm a little blogger, I'm a small blogger, but there's people that get way more traffic than me. But anything of relevance that impacts the society, they are interested in knowing how the masses of people think. And I think they are interested in knowing how the masses of people think. I'm talking about the elite, because it gives them the ability to keep control over the masses of people. And I think they will be in control. They're going to remain in control, because I happen to believe that the average person is dummied down. You know, I mean, the people in power, they're very powerful. And like I said, I believe that they utilize things like YouTube, Facebook, okay, and Twitter, Tumblr. I believe that they use these platforms to gather information, to keep the masses of people in control. And they know that the masses of people, they do not read. And therefore, if you do not read, I would classify you as not being a critical thinker to a certain degree, because you know what? They have gold. The gold is in the library. Or you don't have to go to the library. You can get the information now over the internet. Oh, I often thought like, well, I do a broadcast, do a television show in Chicago called the Underground Railroad television show in Chicago. It comes on every Saturday night at 10:30. But I put the contents on YouTube. But I often thought me and my colleagues down at Can TV in Chicago, 1309 South Wood Street. That's by Damon. We often thought that Can Television gave us the ability to do television shows and to rant and rave and to talk about current things that were going on in the society, in the culture. But we always felt that we were being monitored no matter what we said. And by you being monitored, it gives the opposition or the individual that's in power the ability to know what you're thinking. So they know how to neutralize your people against people, like what happened with the Black Panthers, for example. You know what? It's two different organizations. They were working together. They sent a letter over here saying we against you. Other letter is we are against you, and next thing you know, they're fighting each other. So what I'm saying is that's just a small example. I believe that they use Can Television to a certain degree. It's a public access station to gather information. And also believe that it's a black-owned radio station in Chicago called WVON, owned by Melody Span. I believe that is owned by Clear Channel, to a certain degree. They gave them a loan. They're not owned by Clear Channel, but they probably gave them a loan that they probably will not be able to pay back. But it's a Black-owned radio station. I think that they are gathering information to keep the people exactly where they are. That's what I believe. Okay. But I want to commend Eric Snowden for what he did, bringing that to the American people's attention, because there's a lot of American people that would have thought him even saying something like that until it got publicized that all it is a conspiracy theory. Ooh, but conspiracy theories are real. They are real. And I want to thank him for that, because right now he had to leave the United States of America for revealing this, and he had to leave the United States of America. And he left the United States of America because he did not want to be prosecuted. Now, my question is to people out there listening, please type something in the chat room. And my question is this: was he right, in your opinion, to tell what the NSA was doing if he signed a disclosure before he took the job, saying that, what goes on in here goes on in here? Or should he just say quit the job? Is that something he should have did? Just quit the job? Was he wrong for displaying? To telling the people what's really going on? And that would be something that would depend on your moral ethics. Whether you would put yourself in a position to do something like that. That's what that would depend on. That would depend on that. What do you do when something is going around? So a situation happens like that, and that the American people are being spied on. What do you do? Do you tell? You don't tell? You keep it to yourself? Do you quit? That's hard. But like I say, he is in Russia right now, Eric Snowden. And the thing is, he said that he would come back from Russia. Well, Vladimir Putin is the president. He said he would come back if he felt that he got a fair trial. But my heart goes out to him, because him actually leaving the United States of America, it has to be hard on Eric Snowden, because the thing is, if he has a mother, he has a father, he has a sister, family members he cannot give back. He cannot get back. As soon as he jumps on a plane, he will be expedited. And by expedited, not really expedited. What I mean is, if he tries to get on a plane and come back to the United States of America, any territory of the United States, he will be placed in jail. And you know what? And he will be placed in jail for telling the truth. And you know what? I hope well for him. And you know what? We need more people out there to expose wrongs and evils that we see that are going on in the society, in the culture. And that's what's wrong with us. And we just sit back. We just sit back and we just watch, and we don't say anything. We don't say anything. But you know what? That's why the evil ones stay in control. They stay in control. But I'm gonna play a show where we talk about the NSA and Eric Snowden and the sacrifice that he made, and things that the United States of America is doing to take away your civil liberties. We talk about the Patriots Act. I guess we'll talk about the Patriots Act at another time, but who knows? So I'm going to play this video, and I hope you enjoy it. And the individuals that I am interviewing is former Chicago Alderman Virgil Jones, who was an alderman, talking about the NSA, and Brother Jeffrey Williams. He had a brother in Chicago that was a basketball player named Benji Wilson. They got killed by a gang member, something like that, and it was like national news. It was like all over the news about Benji Wilson. He went to Simeon High School in Chicago, and you know what? He was phenomenal. I mean, you could compare him to like probably a Michael Jordan, if you want to say Michael Jordan, because he was the best at that time at his age. But like I said, and you give me some type of feedback. I mean, if there are subject matters that you do want discussed, you want talked about, please let me know. And if you have some guests, you have individuals that would like to come on to disseminate information, leave me a message. Just leave me a message. And I'll say any suggestions or any ideas, I really would appreciate it. But I'm going to let you look at this video and subscribe and hit the button at the bottom of where I'm at. If you're in YouTube that you like this or you don't like this. Okay. And if there's something that I could have done better, please let me know. But that's what the subject matter is about. This is about the NSA, and this is about Eric Snowden, and this is about the government listening in on our telephone calls. Checking out what we do on the computer. And so a lot of people don't think that the television. Tell you something about the television. Television can always be used as a camera by people that have knowledge, because this day and age is a little camera, a device in there that can record outside of it. But so your television is always on, even when it's off. You know what? Because when you press the remote control, there's a device. There's always electrical currents running to that television. So, because I mean, look what happened to Wilson Good. Mayor Barry in Chicago. I mean, in Washington, D.C. Thought that the television was off, but the television was on and they was watching them. So there may be individuals in your smart, like I said, your phone. You ever notice how you go someplace and your phone it indicates exactly where you are because there's a satellite. So so you are being watched. I'm being watched by somebody right now that maybe they don't like what I'm saying. They don't care about what I'm saying, because this information is so widely known. They don't even care. It's even like UFOs. Pentagon put out something about a UFO a couple of months ago, and you know what? A long time ago, they thought that would alarm the people, but I think that a lot of people they just don't care. But I'm going off into a different subject matter. But the thing is, I have a video that I want you to see, and you know what? It's comments, okay? And that is what we're gonna do right now. We're going to play that right now, and I hope that you enjoy it. And Assalamu alaikum.
I greet you in the words of Assalamu alaikum. which means peace and blessings be upon you. And I mentioned both Jesus and Muhammad's name. Peace be upon them both. They were both messengers of truth and reality. And you're looking at the Underground Railroad TV show. We come on every Saturday night at 10:30 on Channel 19. But if you miss us, you can go to YouTube. Just put in Underground Railroad TV, and you can see me and Alderman and whole lot of things. But I want to thank you. We're going to be talking about things me and Alderman inside of the United States of America and outside of the United States of America. Almost had a slip of the tongue. Okay. So I have Alderman Jones.
Yeah, shalom alaikum.
And Brother Jeff.
Shalom alaikum.
Alaikum salam. And I want you to introduce yourselves, and then we'll start. This is like a round table discussion. So introduce yourselves.
Yeah, Elder.
I'm Virgil Jones Eel, and I'm part of the Moorish Science Temple of America, post number 1. Our Grand Sheik is Marcel Walton Eel. I'm the Deputy Consul General of the Moorish Science Temple, post number 1. I'm also the Grand Governor.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank you, Elder John. My name is Jeff Wilson. I am the brother of the late, great Ben Wilson. I'm the co-founder of Alive 25, the Benji Wilson Youth Foundation, and also the director of community relations for the foundation.
Okay, and his mother's the author of this book right here. The name of it is
To Benji with Love.
Okay. And you know what? Just recently, there was something in the news dealing with Mr. Snow. If I'm pronouncing this,
Snowden, yeah.
Where he exposed the telephone company for saying that they was tapping in on people's telephones to find out what is going on. And you know what, for years, Alderman Jones has been telling me, hey man, I think somebody listening to us. And I've been saying it myself, and Boise and Dr. Lee Warren, Mark Sims, and all of these people. And sometimes you think it's a joke. But first of all, do you think that he was right for blowing the whistle? Should he had done it? Because that's exposing the United States of America to a lot of domestic and international enemies that may want to destroy it. Do you think that he was right, both of y'all?
Yeah, I'm going to just say something real short. He's the new 2013 Benedict Arnold in America's eyes for exposing the security aspects of safety in this country towards other nations.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's upset. I mean, that's all I pretty much, researched about. I read a little bit about it, seen other news. I was like, wow, this is just a rude awakening. I mean, for someone to expose your country, you're supposed to be a loyal citizen, and you say the Pledge of Allegiance, and all, and you're going to do something like this, So I mean, he's banned for life. I know every American to a point is upset, but you have another side of America within the minority community who was like, well, yeah, it's a thing of injustice to a point of America being, brought down for the injustice they did to us as people and stuff like that. So, you really have two sides, but for the whole side, you're part of this country too. So it's going to affect you too, no matter how this country has treated you. That's exposing the security aspect of our safety. So, I mean, I just hope that, justice is served in a way. I mean, as far as what he's done, I mean, that isn't right whatsoever, but hey, look at Watergate, huh?
Yes.
well, I'm going to have to educate you a little bit.
Yes.
I don't think that he was wrong. He should not have been wiretapping the United States citizens, all right?
Yes, sir.
Unless they were dealing with terrorists. It didn't apply to a person who was just dealing with terrorists. They listen to your phone. They listen to my phone.
Right.
That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution.
I agree.
That's illegal search and seizure.
But maybe wait a minute. With the Patriots Act, doesn't that make a difference?
Right.
This Patriot Act don't mean nothing because the Constitution says that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, not
There you go.
the Patriot Act.
Right.
See, people have forgotten the Constitution. All right?
Mm-hmm.
The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, not the Patriot Act. Think about it.
Okay, I understand what
You got to go by the Constitution.
There you go.
All right?
That's right.
They made the Patriot Act because they didn't want to obey the Constitution, which guaranteed certain things couldn't happen to you as a United States, all right, a natural citizen. All right? Notice what I said.
Right.
They wanted to be able to put you in jail and hold you in jail till they got tired. And you ain't had no trial. All right? That was what the Patriot Act was for.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes, put the fear.
And they don't have no proof that you ever did nothing.
That's right.
But they holding you in jail.
Right.
All right?
Your keywords you say on the phone like bomb, this, that, then you are a suspect all of a sudden. Yeah, I heard about this.
You follow what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
I don't think the man did nothing wrong. He let the people of America know that those people in the NSA, all right, because I happen to have known someone who was in the NSA.
Okay.
Mm.
All right? And they don't know it. They'll know now. I've been in their building with him. Did you listen?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
And they...
Some people don't know what NSA means. What
The National Security Administration.
Okay.
And when I walked up in there, I ain't seen nothing like that before in my whole life.
Wow.
They got video screens. I mean, from here to 35th Street.
Those are street cameras, right?
Those are the screens like you watch on a computer.
Right. Right.
All right? They got a room where they listen to conversations all around the country. All right? That's why I can say what I said.
Scary.
But they let me go because he was an important person. And they figured if he was bringing it, it was all right. All right? They made a mistake. But I never forgot that.
Well, wait a minute, Alderman.
Wow.
Wait a minute now.
I never told him.
I need a drink.
My brother.
Okay. I'm playing the pundit now.
And you
But wait a minute, I gotta ask you something now. If you get a job,
Don't drink.
you sign a disclosure saying that you know what, hey man, I work for this company. I will not disclose certain things that are sensitive to the organization that I work at. So you saying this justified and he probably signed something like that? Both of y'all.
Well,
If you sign something like that, would you go out there and reveal something about the company?
His company, he worked for a company who signed a contract with the government.
Wow.
He didn't sign no contract, but he already had the clearance before he worked for that company. You follow what I'm saying?
Preach.
Did you understand? He already had the clearance. He just got a job working with that company because of his clearance. Now, you tell me that it's illegal when I know that somebody is violating the Constitution, and for me to tell the American people that they're doing this wrong stuff in violation of the Constitution.
But if you sign a disclosure,
I don't care what you sign.
Should you violate
I
that?
don't care what you sign. They're violating the Constitution, and that's wrong.
You mean as far as what Snowden did?
Yes. If you signed a disclosure saying that he would not.
Okay, so from my understanding now, you're saying that this Mr. Snowden signed a letter of.
I'm saying hypothetically,
He already had one.
Right.
If he did.
But he worked for a company and signed the contract to work for the NSA.
Right. If you sign a disclosure, then you're not supposed to discuss it with anyone.
Listen.
But we understand the trichonomics of things. I understand the trichonomics of things. I'm going to let you teach the nation about that.
If you know that a person is violating the Constitution.
Right. I understand perfectly.
There's something called
integrity.
No, there's something worse than that. It's called misprision of a felony. You ever heard of that?
No, sir.
Let me tell you what that is. Misprision of a felony is when you have knowledge that somebody is committing a felony and you do not report it or disclose it. to punish a federal crime, the punishment is, all right, a year in the federal penitentiary. All right? Now, you hear what I said?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are you all going by? I know this is a felony they're committing, all right? Because they're illegally listening in people's conversations.
Oh, yeah, that's wrong.
And you're telling me that I ain't supposed to say nothing, which you want me to commit misprision of a felony.
I understand.
You know, I believe in the Most High, yeah. So
you see what I'm saying?
Everybody's going to get their just due. You know, I have to do the right, you know, positive love action that I feel the Father has made us to be as far as being on this earth, as being his people. And that's what I'm promoting. So, I mean, evil is going to touch us, but we got to just keep going. So
see,
they're
Jeff,
going to get their just due.
One of the things I believe in, Jeff, and God in heaven knows I believe in. I spent 3.5 years in prison, and I spent all my time in the library.
Yes.
Because I noticed, I told you, read.
Sound like
Yes,
Malcolm.
sir.
All right? So that I would know the law.
Yes.
That's how I found out all that stuff about taxes and all that stuff. And I do not believe that the man violated a law because he would have been committing a crime like the rest of them down there who had knowledge of that and didn't tell.
Well, they're trying to extradite him right now.
They ain't gonna give him. The Chinese ain't gonna give him.
I think what is he in? He's in Hong Kong. He's in Hong Kong right now.
Last we checked, yeah.
And they want to extradite him.
He's not going. They're not gonna give him back to this country.
Yeah. Good Morning America. Yeah, I've seen it.
Because, like I told you, he would have been committing the crime of misprision of a felony had someone found out that he and other people knew this stuff. Those others who knew, they should be prosecuted.
So you're saying everybody in NSA should be prosecuted?
Those who had knowledge.
Gotcha.
Because they knew that there was a felony being committed.
And about the other things too. You know, there was just a hearing in Washington about there would be drones, unmanned planes flying over the United States.
They've been using that.
Well, okay. Well, they're making it known. Okay. And they had a hearing about it. What did you think, about drones flying over the United States of America and possibly intruding on individuals' civil liberty? And those drones can be loaded to do havoc to somebody if they want. What's your opinion about that?
He's violating the law, right?
No, they have hearings on.
Well, you know, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't looked into that issue at all. My energy has been concentrated on a lot of other things within the violence aspects of things and other aspects of just development of our people. And so, I mean, I can talk all day, but I haven't really looked into that. I know about Snowden, so I really can't elaborate on that.
Oh, there was a brother named Phil Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Snyder was a geological engineer.
Yes.
He helped to build over 100 underground cities across this country. You heard what I just said?
You're not talking about Coop, are you? Well, I'm thinking about Coop.
Okay. I know you're talking about. I'm talking about, no, he was a geological engineer.
Okay.
And they found him.
They murdered him.
They murdered him. They cut his throat with piano wire in his house. All right. But they say he committed suicide.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I remember this.
And he told about they have a black budget. And he was going across the country speaking. And the budget is unlimited. And they don't have to tell nobody what they're using the money for. They have created what they call black helicopters, all right?
Black ops, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they can see in your house through your walls. Did you ever said right here in America? Tell you how many people in there? All of that stuff.
Yeah.
Where you at? What room you in? See, I don't care anymore. See, so I tell y'all this stuff. Because you need to know.
I mean, is it just, but you know what, but is it justified? I'm talking
No, it's not justified.
I mean, you don't think that it's making the United States of America safer?
No.
I don't think it's making it safer, but I'm just...
You've been in the military, you know the truth.
Yes.
You've been in the Army.
You was in the Army, really?
I ain't never been in the Army. They wouldn't accept me in the Army. Because they said that I was a threat to the national security. When when I volunteered.
Yeah, they feel what they don't understand. That's the old, statement for
Oh,
so
you
many
know what
years.
they're trying? Come on, man, they're trying to protect us from the terrorists. But what you
Yeah,
trying to say? The
that's
true
what-
enemies are from
How
within.
many terrorist cases have they had in America?
Since 9/11, this is all out of right.
And they knew that was going to happen before it happened. Now I'm going to have since you're talking about this.
In Boston and everything.
There were two
right?
banks
So,
in those two buildings. The Citicorp and another bank. You know what they were getting ready to do?
No, sir.
The Arabs had all their money in there from the oil. They were getting ready to take all their money out of there and go over to Europe and put it invested. I'm talking about $3 or $4 trillion into, guess what? Euros.
wow,
Can you imagine what would have happened to this country if they had did that?
what would have happened?
They went bankrupt again.
But
Wow.
I'm gonna restructure my question. What's the danger of drones flying over the United States of America? What is the danger?
Like I said, I haven't looked into
Okay,
the issues of that.
what's
I haven't
the danger?
studied. I haven't studied.
What is the enemy
They can
danger?
set up a totalitarian system, all right, with that kind of mess, all right?
I thought they already done it. I thought they've already done it, but go ahead.
No, they haven't finished it. It's called, in 1945, and you can read this in a book by a guy named Mars, M-A-R-S. In 1945, in another book called Blowback, all right, by Simpson.
Get that, y'all, blowback.
All right.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you. What they did was, Hitler said, look, if we lose the war, y'all go to the United States. Take all your money, put it in their banks. And what you do is, we got some people already there. All right, because George Bush daddy, Prescott Bush, sold steel to Hitler.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
All right.
I heard about
And what
that.
you will do after you get there is get in the FBI, the CIA, the State Department. Don't run for no office. So we can set up the Fourth Reich. See, the word R-E-I-C-H means empire. So we can set up, Hitler had the Third Empire. All right, known as the Third Reich.
The Third Reich, okay.
But if you don't know that's a German word, you think it's some way out there in space.
You're like Adidas, huh?
And that's what they have done. They have set up the Fourth Reich. Yeah. And if you cause them a problem, then what do? They got their people in all them different spots.
Yes.
Then they come and get you and put you in jail.
Do they lie?
Wow. They've arranged this back in the 1940s.
Scary. Wow,
they just ain't finished the process. They've also built.
Yes.
They built centers across this country, what you would call a concentration camp.
You're talking about a FEMA camp.
Yeah, FEMA.
That's a nice word they use for it.
Right.
All right. And I'll tell you, all of our people of our hue. Have you ever noticed we all lived in train tracks?
Yeah, I've noticed it. I know why though, but yes.
Interesting.
Then you go on your computer and look up King Alfred. That was a plan that was devised in 1948 for you, me, him, all of us, where they would put you in those if there was going to be some kind of problem with you all.
But Alderman, if we know about all of these things that have transpired, they're really old. It's really old. So what new things that they devised?
I'm not a communist, all right?
Yes.
But I read a book by Lenin, all right, who was a communist.
Yes.
And you know what he said? There will never be a revolution in the United States because the lumpen proletariat, that's the poorest of the poor, is daily being bought out.
Yeah, rest in peace, Gil Scott Heron.
yes. Now you know where you got that from. Now you know where you got that from.
Yeah, I'm involved. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
that was written by Lenin. I forget the name of the book at the moment. I read that and I sat there and thought for a while. He said, because the poorest of the poor are daily being bought out. So they say, I tell you what, Jeff, we don't want you messing with that Jones guy, How'd you like to make $100,000 a year?
Marcel, you didn't think about Marcel. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I can tell you what you're gonna say already. You're gonna say 100,000.
My buddy.
You just want me to not be involved with him?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a deal. I ain't gonna mess with him.
You know, I was taught that this world that we live in, despite what's happened to us, we have the greatest Holocaust in history. Over 200 million of our people have been murdered due to the evil of this world. And the world needs us because we carry the struggle of truth, love, peace, understanding of the whole earth and universe. So I want to use us like that because we carry. I wouldn't hurt anyone for the sake of money. You know, that's just,
well, I'm saying the average person ain't like
right. I know the average person. Yeah, I mean, I was raised with some ancient upbringing.
But the average
from my mom
person is not like you.
Right, and
they would sell
and it's unfortunate. Yeah,
they would sell their souls for $2.
Yeah, they look at the music industry.
Yeah, people that Beyonce, Jay-Z, they say that they're in Illuminati. That's what
they say. What
they
now?
say
About who?
Jay-Z, Beyonce. They say they may be in Illuminati. I say maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
You know, I'm going to leave it like this. Jay-Z is the best MC rapper in the world. I hear things. I love the art form that he's brought to the world to spread the culture of our struggle.
Okay.
Scoop Jackson wrote a book about hip hop being the last Black Mecca, our voice. So that's what I represent. So if he's represented in the righteous way of things, then fine. But I mean, there's Common. You know, Kanye is doing. You know, the new Slave song he has right now is real hot. So I mean, it's a outlet towards our struggle and what we're going through as far as the art form of the music and the style and everything. So I'm gonna leave it like that.
I'm gonna ask y'all something though, man. You know, with the book 1984 by George Orwell, has it come to a reality?
Almost. Or George Orwell was a woman.
George, what's it? Her name was George.
Women couldn't write books back then.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Why do you say it's almost?
So she put a man's name on the book so it could get published.
Why do you say it's almost come to reality? Almost. Wow.
Well, they talked about view tubes in the book. That's TV. That was back in 1910.
Wow.
So
wow. Knowledge is power. People pay attention. Wow.
That's what they get. And they could see anything and everything in your house, whatever that was going on.
Wow.
Isn't that what we're talking about now?
Yes.
They could listen to anything that you were talking on. They didn't call it telephones. They had a different word for it, but it meant telephones.
Hey, man, I asked you, had me looking around. You don't think there's bugs in here? Do you think there's bugs in here somewhere? Let me look under the chair.
I'm not going to let anybody make me paranoid. Right. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. Did you let say?
Yes, sir.
Because if they want to find out if it ain't a bug, they got some black bugs. They got some black bugs.
Okay.
You know, all right, that'll tell.
Yeah.
You know, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, there's 3 things that destroy us: envy, jealousy, and stool pigeons. You know, so they don't need no wires for us.
Yeah.
You know, I was on.
Crabs in the bucket, right? Crabs in the bucket. Yeah.
You know, I was on YouTube, and you know what? I saw that they had a drone the size of an insect. I just couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe it.
Brother, let me tell you, when I went through the stuff I went through, that clown John Christopher who lied on me, he told me one day, he said, you know, it's Christmas time. I want to know if you would accept a gift from me. I said, I don't accept gifts. Well, I had a shirt I wanted to give you. I said to myself, they got listening devices with buttons the size of a button.
2 minutes.
Wow.
Okay.
Did you what I said? You want to give me a shirt for what?
Okay.
I don't know you like that.
Hey, excuse me, man. You know what, audience? We've been kicking it around. But you know what? I'm gonna give both of them some finishing, closing statements. So they got closing statements from people.
I'll let you go first.
Right.
No,
Tell us.
Just definitely for everyone out there, knowledge is power. Keep our youth in a function of reading. I feel that is one of the most important things. You know, get away from the PS3s, the Xboxes, and everything. Reading is so powerful. One thing that really made me a lover of reading back when I was 17 years of age was George Foreman. Before he trained his boxing, this guy was pulling cars with his waist. He said he will read for 3 hours before he started training. So reading is power. So definitely grasp that, and we can make a difference.
Okay, we got 1 minute.
Well, I only say this. They used to kill slaves for reading.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So read.
Okay.
There's something they don't want you to know.
I want to say assalamu alaikum to everyone, and thank you for looking at the Underground Railroad TV show. We come on every Saturday night at 10:30, and we are on YouTube. Go to YouTube and just subscribe, please. Assalamu alaikum and thank you. Shalom. Shalom.
But he sat there out in front of the fortress, only saying, A'udhu billah, bihadha al-husn al-hasin, and he never went inside. And so the beast ate him up because he only made his isti'adha, but he did not act upon it. And he did not actually seek the protection that the fortress actually gave. And so as Allah tells us in Surah Al-Dhariyat, verse 50, فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنِّي لَكُمْ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. And run, escape to Allah, for surely I am a clear warner. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, was told to tell his followers that you should escape to Allah. So you don't escape into nothingness, into depression or oppression or hayat dunya, but escape to Allah. Firru ilallah. And so we found ourselves with the soul leaving the body. This is a very sacred moment. And there are many hadiths, many traditions. Many scholars have looked into this. Alhamdulillah, in these times, two great scholars of hadith and Islamic studies, Sheikh Nasiruddin al-Albani, in a book called Kitab al-Janaiz, the book of janazas, and Sheikh Umar al-Ashqa in his book Al-Yawm al-Akhir. They did a tremendous job in sifting through the traditions to find those that are authentic traditions, so that we would not be put into a state of fear with something that was not true. We would not be told a story that was a fairy tale, but we would be told a story that would come from authentic sources, coming from...
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that. You know what, the conversation about the NSA and Eric Snowden. And I encourage you, if you like this, subscribe. If you can put a thumbs up or thumbs down below if you didn't like this, and leave me
USAA
a
made for?
comment.
It's made for him, a veteran who honorably served.
Leave
and it's
me
made
a
for
comment.
her. She's serving now. We also make USAA for military spouses and their kids. Become a member. Get an insurance quote today.
And leave me a comment.
Been a long day for y'all.
So it was a little interruption, but leave me a comment. And if you have a suggestion, an idea about a television show or a subject matter that you would like discussed, let me know. If you have somebody you think would be a good guest, email me. It's in my description. Email Clifton Bradley on Facebook, or email me. I will put that in the description. But you have things that you see that needs to be improved, let me know. If you have any suggestions or any ideas, and the people again, by the end of the words, assalamu alaikum, and thank you for watching, and share this video on your social media platforms and subscribe. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.